So let me start showing you what I require from you guys. But before that, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. That way I can show you what I'm talking about. All right, so just give us a few seconds so I think you can see my screen now. Do you see this loop? You guys can see it, right? Yeah, okay, cool. All right, so I'm gonna start off with showing you this page. This is the mathematics department page. Are you all familiar with this page? Yeah. So you guys can also talk through your audio. That way I don't have to come back to chat all the time. Uh, so this is the mathematics department page. If you just Google Math CCNY, it will bring you to a page that looks like this. So let me just show it to you. Google, right? And then you write Math CCNY. And the first link that appears, for me, it's the first because I've been visiting it frequently. For you, it could be the second or the third link, but it looks like this. You click on it, and it brings you to this department page. And on this page, if you go on the left side to people, click on people, and look for my name. So these are all the faculties and members that are teaching at CCNY. So if you scroll all the way down to the adjuncts list and look for my name, which is right here, Jania Begum, click on it and it'll bring you to my page. So once you're in this page, you'll see my email, which is listed right underneath email. So if you have questions, send me an email on this email address. My office is this, but we're not meeting in person, so you can kind of ignore that. But in the future, if you ever need to reach out to me, you can email me or just come to my office. I'm usually there when the school is open, but now we're not there, so it wouldn't be so useful for you. Next I have is my office hours for fall 2020, which is this semester. So I'm holding 2 office hours, Wednesday and Thursday, 12 to 1 p.m. by Zoom. So I will be putting up the Zoom meeting ID next to TBA. I don't have it yet because I haven't opened up a session in Zoom, but it will be up by next week. So I'll start holding office hours from next Wednesday, not this Wednesday, so not today. Phone number, you can ignore that. That's the school phone number they have in my office, which is irrelevant right now. Next I have is my homepage, which is the website I will be using to post materials. Anything, if I want to hand it to you guys, I'll be putting it up there so you can open it up on your device and look at the PDF version. So I'll show you that in a couple of seconds. And here is the course syllabus. So for fall 2020, 190, if you click here, it'll take you to this page where you have the intro to the course, how to purchase the online homework system, and syllabus itself. So our supervisor is Dr. Matthew Ott. So if you have any, I don't know, a major question, maybe you want to reach out to him. But first, you want to reach out to me, and then I might refer you to him if I don't have the answer. But try to reach out to me first before you go to him, because he's super busy, and you can imagine how much workload he has. So we'll try not to contact him unless we have to. So this course it's a really fun course for college students. You have, we'll learn topics such as algebraic expressions, equations, rational expressions, exponents, real numbers, and some trig functions, graph, and the unit circle. So pretty fun topics we're going to talk about. Hopefully you'll enjoy it as well. And the next component we have is the WebAssign, which is the online homework system we will be using for this course. And if you click on this link right here, it says the link, it will bring you to this page. And if you scroll all the way down on this page, which he described on the page, previous page, right here, if you click right here where it says buy for $40, make sure you do that instead of paying $100 and change. This way you can save some bucks for yourself, right? Why not? You can buy extra cup of coffees for yourself. So make sure you do that when you make purchase for WebAssign, and it gives you electronic version of the textbook, the ebook, so you don't have to get a physical copy. So this is where you have to do maybe after class today if you want to, but I will give you the access code. Go ahead.
So for the early program, the early college program, does Sophia give us the link or do we need to pay the $40? How does that work?
I will ask you to contact her if you need to pay for WebAssign or not.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So except for early college students, every one of you are required to pay $40 to get access to WebAssign. Okay, so the person who just asked me, Tiana, was it you?
Yes, it was me.
Okay, so can you send me an email that way I can just forward the email to everyone what
Okay.
Sophia says? Perfect. Okay, so we're all set. Okay, so that's WebAssign. You will have to spend $40 on that, right? I can't do anything on that. Caitlin?
So for the early college students, we were told that around early September we would have to go to the campus to get our books. So
I think that's not gonna happen right now because nobody's coming to campus. Uh, but when you purchase WebAssign, which Tiana is gonna find out for us, that if you do have to pay, then you get an electronic version of the textbook, so you don't really need a hard copy. And if you want a hard copy, I will say contact Sophia and see what she tell you guys to do. Okay, Sonia P.
I had a question about when was the deadline in order to get the WebAssign book?
Oh, I'm
Like,
gonna get to that. Mm-hmm.
do we need it
So someone,
immediately or yeah?
so you should get WebAssign immediately, and it gives you 14 days of free trial. Okay,
Oh,
so
okay.
you have to make the purchase within that 14 days period.
Okay, cool.
Hmm.
Thank you.
So as I just said, you can rent from Chegg for $7.99. Sure, if you guys want a hard copy, you figure out which way works for you. But when you get the WebAssign access code, it gives you an electronic version of the copy of the textbook. So it's really up to you if you want the hard copy or not. But you do get an electronic version, so that's kind of cool, right? At least you have something to look at. All right, any other questions? Okay, so this is to buy access code for WebAssign. I will give you the class key and I'm going to get to that in a few seconds. But let me just run down this list first. So next thing we have topic list. These are just if you want extra review, extra video on how to do certain problems, you can click here and this will give you some kind of academic link, I think. That's what it has. I didn't really look into it, but you can definitely go ahead and find out. Grading factors, the important part, right? So pay close attention to this. WebAssign homework is 3%. Your quizzes, there's going to be about 11 quizzes. They're going to average to 27%, with one of them being dropped. Okay, so one quiz will be dropped, so only 10 of them will be counted toward that 27% of your grade. And in-class tests, there's going to be 3 of them. They're going to be count 30% of your overall grade, and the final would be 40%. Okay, so that's the grading factors for this course. Any questions on that? Okay, if you have questions, let me know. And then here, there are just a few more documents that posted from the department, but you can use it for an extra practice toward the end when we start reviewing for the final. But for now, I wouldn't really focus on any of these documents, and WebAssign is the best way to prepare you for the test. So homework would be the best approach for this course. I do want to click on the syllabus quickly so that you know which sections we're going to be covering from the textbook. So this is the uniform syllabus for Math 190. The textbook we're using is Algebra and Trigonometry, 4th edition by Stewart, Ritland, and Watson. So it's a different textbook from pre-calculus. This is a updated syllabus. So you can see all the sections that we're going to be covering in this course. We'll start with prerequisite. That's what P stands for. And then we'll move on to chapter 1, chapter 2, a little bit of 3, a little bit of 4, 5, and chapter 10. So not much, but we have some heavy materials that we're going to talk about. But the sections prerequisite, those should be brief review for you from your previous course. So make sure you know how to do P1 to P8 without any struggle. But of course, I'm going to cover everything first before I let you do any homework. Any questions on this? All right, moving on to the next concept. So I'm going to go back to my page. Here's my page. Now, if you click on this link, which says homepage, it will take you directly to my website. So this is the website I use when I teach a course in any school. So if you click on teaching on this website, it will take you to this page where you have some old materials from other courses that I have taught in this school. But if you want to skim through them and just wander around, go ahead and do that on your free time. But for now, we want to focus on Math 190 Fall 2020. So the one in red, if you click on it, it will bring you to this page. So this is the page created for this course only. But keep in mind that I'm teaching 2 sections of 190, so you have to be careful which one you click on, okay? So for example, if you look at WebAssign info, here I have click here if you're in section EC, which you guys are, and the one on the bottom is the section LM, which is my Tuesday, Thursday section. So just don't click on that because then it will take you to a different page and you don't want to get confused. So for you guys, you click on the one in red, which says section EC, and this is where you're going to get the info for WebAssign. So when you come to WebAssign, so it looks like this. So WebAssign, this is how the page looks like. And then I have the instruction right here clearly written for you in words. You go to, I have a class key, and then the class key is given to you in these numbers. So first box, you fill in CCNY, second box are the numbers, and then the third box are also the numbers. So if you come here, you click on enter class key, and these are the numbers you're going to fill in these slots. Okay, does that make sense, guys?
Yes.
Question? Cool. So you will be using this class key because you're in section EC. Okay, so do that after class, and then that will take you to this page. Well, not this page because this is the instructor version. You will see a student view. So your view would look like this. Okay, and then you will have the option to pick section EC. And here you will be able to see all the assignments right here. So these are the assignments. So all the assignments are posted right now, and they also have certain due date. Okay. For now, I'm not going to change any due dates because I think we're going to go according to the due date. But if for some reason I don't get to cover something in class, then it won't be due on the day it is mentioned. I'll move up the due dates for you guys, so you don't have to worry about it too much. But if something is due, just make sure you get it done. I don't want to extend assignments for 75 students. That's way too much to do. So just make sure you're up to date. Okay, so that's WebAssign. Any questions on that? Okay, cool. So if there are no questions, moving on. So the next thing I have for you guys is my YouTube videos. So here's my channel. This is my YouTube channel. After our session is over, I'm going to download the video and put it up on this channel. That way you can all watch it or revisit whatever you need to do. So just keep, you can watch it on this channel as well. And they will also be posted right here. So if you go back to my website, under videos, I have a playlist for this class as well for 2 sections. So your one will be for EC and the other one is LM. So you'll find them right here. Right now it's not clickable because we don't have any playlist yet, but after 11:40 I'll start downloading and then putting it up on this channel as well. So you have multiple ways to access my website and the YouTube channel as well. And you're welcome to subscribe to my channel if you want to. That way you'll know when I'm posting the videos. You'll get a notification as well. Okay, so any questions? Well, thank you, Jason. Cool. Next thing I want to mention is, so I did tell you guys my office hour already, right? So that's going to be on Wednesday and Thursday, 12 to 1, just right after class. So that will be there. So my website, you can come here just directly from mathematics department page. If you go to people, look for my name, which is all the way on the bottom. And then if you go to homepage, that will link you to my website. That's my website. Okay, so any questions? I think that's pretty much it for the course materials. Okay, cool. All right, so if there are no more questions, I have just a few more things that I want to mention. So let me just look at my notes. Okay, next thing I want to mention is if I call on you while I'm lecturing to have you give me an answer and you don't respond, I'm going to sign you out from the section. That means either you're falling asleep, you're not paying attention, or you're not currently active. So make sure you're active for 1 hour and 40 minutes. It's important that you understand what's being covered in the session. Remember, we have 75 students. It's going to be tough. So if you fall behind, it's going to be really hard for you to catch up. So I really want you to be active. I will be randomly picking on you guys. So make sure you answer. If you don't, I sign you out. So just to help you and make sure you stay active. That's the only purpose of me doing that, but nothing personal, okay? Another thing is when you send me an email, I want you to write the email in a specific way. On the subject line, I want you to put your name and the section you're emailing me from. So if you're in the EC section, make sure you write EC next to your name. That way I know which class I'm referring to, okay? Because it'll be difficult for me to keep track of every single name, and I don't think I can do that. So just to make things easier for me, put your name on the subject line and put the section you're in, and then your concern, put it on the text line. Okay, any questions? Any questions for me, guys? All right, cool. So my email is also posted on the department website. So I'm going to bring you back here again. Go to people and look for people. Look for me. I'm right here. So my email is listed on this page as well. So once you get to this page, you kind of have link to everything. You have link to my homepage, and my homepage will lead you to my YouTube channel. And then here you have the syllabus for this course as well. So pretty much if you know how to get to this page, you can access everything that I have for you guys. And I'll put up the Zoom meeting ID sometime this weekend. That way we have it ready for next week. So the textbook, so once you come into WebAssign, so you input the class key that I have on my website, and then you come into this page, it gives you the e-text right on the left. So if I click on it, I have access to the e-text because my supervisor already set it up for all of us. But for you guys, you will see this only for 14 days the time you start. Okay, so if you registered today in WebAssign, you will see it today until 2 weeks. So you have 2 days, sorry, not 2 days, 2 weeks time to make the purchase. Okay, so when you're making the purchase, you wanna do this. So if you go to Math 190 syllabus, and here it says how to purchase a discount WebAssign access code, you click on this link, and this link will take you to your WebAssign account, and you will be clicking on the one on the bottom that says WebAssign Instant Access for this textbook, and you click on buy for $40. And then you input your credit card info or PayPal, whatever account you have to make the payment. But that's how you'll be purchasing WebAssign access code, and access code gives you an e-text of the textbook. So you have both. And if you want a hard copy, I'm sure you will find your ways to get it. Cool. All right, any other questions? Right, so that's where you will be doing the homework. WebAssign is the online system to do homework. Okay. So, Ayana, if you bought the unlimited, I don't think you need to pay for it. You should have access to it without paying that $40, but I'm not sure. You have to figure that out on your own. So
Hello?
when you pay, yeah.
Okay, so last semester I bought the unlimited Cengage, and I tried to click the link, and now it says that I only have a 14-day trial, but I bought the unlimited.
Okay, so I would call Cengage and find out, because if you bought the unlimited, you shouldn't pay for it again.
Okay, thank you.
So, Amina, WebAssign is not free. You get 2 weeks free trial once you sign in with the class key, and then you have to click on this link right here to make the purchase for $40. Remember, you're purchasing an access code. An access code gives you the textbook. So you're not purchasing textbook, you're purchasing access code to have more, I guess, extended time period until the end of the semester to do all of your homework assignments. And the quizzes and exams are also going to take place on WebAssign. So everything is remotely. So yes, the answer is yes. It's mandatory to get WebAssign because that's how you're going to be assessed on this class. Sonia?
Do we have to create our own account, or do we already have an account from City Tech, and I could just log in with my city email, city mail?
So city email, right? Yeah. So what do? You have to, so first thing you want to do today after class is to, so let me just go back to my page. So here's my web page. And then if you go to our class, which is 190, you have WebAssign info. Click on your section, which is AC. And then I have this PDF file on how to get started with WebAssign. So that's the first thing you want to do today. You go to www.webassign.net. So if I do that, I'll show you again. It brings you to this page. You click on enter class key. Okay, so the key you're going to enter is posted on this PDF, class key code. Okay, and then it will ask you to create an account. So make sure you use your city email to create an account. And this account is only for 14 days. After that, it expires. So you have to make the purchase for $40, the access code, so that you have the extension.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, no problem. So even if you don't want to make the purchase today, that's totally fine. Just make sure you purchase within 14 days from today, if today you start doing your WebAssign. Okay, any other questions? Okay, so I hope we're all okay. So again, let me know if you guys have questions.
Sorry, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
When's our first assignment? Like, when is it due?
Oh, when is it due? So if you
Yes,
go to, uh-huh.
because Sophia is probably going to take some time with like all of this because there's a lot of students in the program. So I don't know if we're going to be able to like do it in time if it's pretty soon.
Okay. Okay, thanks for bringing that up. So the
Yeah.
first one that's due is P1. That's on August 31st. Uh, I'll probably move that to September something. So I will definitely move that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So just let me know when Sophia sends you guys an email, forward that to me, and then I will just forward that to the class.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you,
It's
Sienna.
because today's the first day and there's a lot of things happening, so she'll probably won't get
Right.
back to us today.
Right, right. I totally get it.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's nothing, I wouldn't put anything due this week. I'll probably put something, well, this week, nothing next week as well, probably the following week. So in 2 weeks' time, you'll have your assignments due. Okay, so the quizzes and the exams are most likely going to be on every Monday. So quizzes are gonna be on Mondays. Exams, I'm also planning on doing it on Mondays, but I'll give you a week ahead of time to let you know when the exams are coming up. So I'll try to split them up in every 3 weeks' time. There's going to be a test, but I'll let you know probably 2 class ahead of time. Okay, so there's no quiz this coming Monday, but there's going to be a quiz on Wednesday. So just because we didn't get to do much today and today's Wednesday, we won't have anything on the 31st, but quiz on the 2nd. Okay, so our first quiz will take place on September 2nd. Any questions on that?
There's some questions in the chat.
Uh, you won't have quiz and exam on the same day. So if there's an exam, there's no quiz on that particular Monday. Okay. All right. So any other questions? Okay. Are we all okay? So the quizzes will usually have probably say 3 to 5 questions depending on the topic we're on. But your next quiz, which is quiz 1, that's going to have about 3 to 4 questions. And you'll have 20 minutes, so you'll have enough time to finish the quiz. And yes, they're timed. So the quizzes are timed and exams are timed as well. So every quiz will be timed for 20 minutes and the exams are timed for 60 minutes. So the exams and quizzes, they're also going to take place on WebAssign. So the day I assign you a quiz, we'll come into Blackboard session and then you'll take the quiz on WebAssign and you'll submit your answers on WebAssign. The instruction will be given to you on WebAssign. Okay. So the quizzes will have 5 to 10 questions. And I haven't really decided how many questions yet, but let's say about 5 to 10. But for the next one, which is our first quiz, that's going to have about 3 to 4 questions. So your quiz 1 will have 3 to 4 questions. Okay. Any other questions? All right. Are we all good? All right. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off my video so we can start. at least a little bit for next 20 minutes. So let's go ahead and do that. So before I do that, I want you to pay attention to this joke that I found on Google. I think it's pretty cool. So just read through this comic for next 30 seconds, and I hope you'll make sense out of this. All right, so you guys finished reading, and now we're ready to start. So you know what this means, right? If you have a question, and if it's written in the syllabus, you look at the syllabus. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start our lesson for today. So today is the zero lecture because we're really not gonna do much. We will just briefly talk about the prerequisite section, which are labeled P, and the assignment for it is already up, but I'm gonna move it up to probably September something. So I'll let you guys know as we go along. Now, while I'm writing on my screen, if you guys have questions, you're welcome to speak up using your audio so that way I don't have to keep going back and forth from my writing to Blackboard. Okay? All right, so we're going to, so first, I just want to write that quiz 1 that's going to take place on Wednesday, September 2nd. So usually the quizzes are going to be beginning of class. So this will take place from, let's say, 10:05 to, so 20 minutes, right? That would be 10:25. So that would be the time for quiz number 1, 10:05 to 10:25, and this would be on WebAssign. I'll tell you the sections as we go along. So Monday, I'll give you a better overview of quiz 1 than today, because I'm not sure how far we're going to cover yet. And next thing I want to mention is when you write an email to me, you want to make sure on the subject, so how to write email. Right, so that's just for me, not for anyone else. When you write an email to me on the subject line, you want to put your full name, and next to it you want to write the section you're on. Okay, so that way I know which class you're referring to. Okay, because sometimes we might be covering one thing in this class and another class I could be behind or I could be forward. So just to be clear, and hopefully we understand each other, something to be careful on. So that's that. And my office hours are going to be Wednesday and Thursday, 12 to 1. So hopefully you have that in mind as well. Another thing I want to mention is that exams, they're going to be 60 minutes long, and quizzes are going to be 20 minutes long. Okay. And of course, the number of questions is going to vary because sometimes we might cover more, sometimes we might cover less, but you'll have enough time to complete within that 20 minutes. And also make sure you don't use calculator. So no calculator. Okay. During the quiz or test. Okay. Any questions? All right.
Will your website have the assignments for the week? Or like how we're gonna know if it's like something's due? Is it gonna be on WebDesign?
Everything is on WebAssign.
Okay.
So, my website only has the info for WebAssign, so how you can get started. That's pretty much all I have posted because all the assignments are going to be on WebAssign and the quizzes are on WebAssign, exams are on WebAssign, so I don't have to post anything here. But if I give you something extra, then I will be putting it up on my website. Okay. All right. Any other questions? All right. So if there are no questions, let's go ahead and start the prerequisite section of our text. So remember, we're using the Algebra and Trigonometry text, 4th edition from Cengage. Make sure you have access to the textbook. So we're gonna start with prerequisite. So prerequisite, it's kind of like something you should have already known before coming into this class. It's a pretty simple stuff we're gonna talk about, but just make sure you know them well, and we're gonna be using them constantly on the next chapters as well. So we'll start with P1. P1 talks about modeling the real world with algebra. So the goal for this section is to learn how to use algebra to model real-world problems. Okay? Okay. All right. So, well, we kind of have an idea how to create formulas, right? And we know how to somehow relate variables with numbers. So in algebra, we use letters to stand for numbers. And this allows us to describe patterns that we see in the real world, right? So we know how to do that. So here's an example to illustrate. So suppose let's use n to stand for the number of hours you work, okay? And let W stand for your wage, hourly wage, right? How much you get paid hourly. So if these are the variables we're choosing to stand for a specific quantity, then we can come up with this formula, P, which is your pay, right? P is for pay, so I should write that out too. The P is going to be the number of hours you work times your hourly wage, right? So we kind of relate variable to a real world problem. Now suppose you work 2 hours for an hourly wage of, say, $100. Cool, right? I like that. Okay, so so think about this. So if you work 3 hours, um, for hourly wage, $100, how much How much do you earn? What do you think? $300, right? So you guys got it, right? So we know our pay, it's going to be N times W. So, all right. So just, all right, guys. I already got it. You put too much on the chat. I got it. You can also speak through your audio. That way we get the answer quickly. So you know your hourly rate is 100 and you're working 3 hours. So that will be just $300. So all of you kind of got that and posted on the chat, which is nice. That's a nice wage, right? Yeah, pretty cool, right? All you have to do is work 3 hours. You're done for the day. So pretty cool application, right? You can kind of match up with your real world problem. Now, if you work 10 hours, you get $15, the minimum wage. Oh boy, you gotta work a lot. So kind of cool stuff, right? Applications are always nice to work with. So that's one way we can relate variables with numbers, and we can kind of come up with a real world application to it. So we have a real world problem where we're talking about wage, an hourly wage, and then we have a model which is P is equal to N times W. Pretty useful formula. I do have an example that I want us to work on here. So here's an example I want you to work on for, say, next minute or two. It shouldn't take you so long. And once you have it, you can just put your answer on the chat, or you can tell me. Okay, so it looks like a lot of us have 315 for the first one. So I'm going to ask Laura to help us out. Laura, tell us, what did you do for the first part?
I just multiplied 9 by 35 since he gets paid $9 an hour and he worked 35 hours.
So how much did he get paid? We just want to know P, so you multiply these numbers, you get 315.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, Laura, for sharing that, and a lot of you got that answer, so good job. All right, so let's take another couple of seconds to work on part B. So for part B, I just want you to tell me you're done without giving me the answer. All right, you guys start giving me the answer. Okay, cool. All right, looks like a lot of us are done. All right, Julia, you need a couple more minutes. So let's give Julia just a couple more seconds. So. Okay, so let's ask Raghav, how did you do part B? All right, Raghav, tell us, how did you do part B?
I just divided 126 by 9, and that's 14.
Okay, so let's read the problem. we want to, so a textbook costs $126. So we want to know how many hours. So that's kind of like the question mark. Aaron needs to work to earn this amount. Okay, so we know the formula. Pay is going to be number of hours times W. We want to know how many hours. So N is sort of like the question mark. So we have P over W is equal to N, and we know P is the amount, the cost, 126 over 14, that's W. What? Sorry, 9. We're looking for N, so that would give us 14. Any questions on this? So you could have manipulated the formula first, solve for the unknown variable, or you can just plug in what's given to you and then just solve for the unknown variable. So whichever way you approached, it's good enough. Just know that how to relate a formula to a specific scenario and computing its value as well. All right, so far so good. Now we also have applications such as called gas mileage. So that's just another way of relating two variables and kind of coming up with ratios. So here's what we're going to do. So another formula. So gas mileage modeling. So this is another type of modeling similar to what we did with the pay. So gas mileage is gas mileage of a car is the number of miles it can travel, right? So if you guys, I don't know if you guys are over 18, if anyone is, is that the age for getting a license? I don't remember. Do you guys know?
You can get a license at 16.
Okay. Can you start driving at 16?
Yeah, from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Oh, okay. So there is a restricted boundary. Okay, cool. So there's a curfew. Well, at least you have it, so that's good. So gas mileage is of a car is the number of miles it can travel on 1 gallon of gas, right? So we can say the mileage, right? Gas mileage is equal to the number of miles driven over the number of gallons used. That's how you determine the gas mileage, right? And to give it a variable, we would say let N represent the number of miles driven and let G be the gas, the number of gallons used. So we kind of have this formula, M is equal to N over G. If you want to use different variables, that's also totally fine. Just make sure you label them accordingly, okay? Now, if that's the case, let's think about an example, okay? So here's an example to relate this formula. So Henry's car used 10.5 gallon to drive 230 miles. Okay, so we want to find its gas mileage. So take few seconds and come up with the answer. And when you're ready, just say done on the chat. Don't put the answers. Okay, looks like someone is already done. Cool, you guys are fast. Let's give everyone a couple more seconds and then we'll go over. All right, so I'm ready for you to share your answers. Let's Zoha, tell us, how did you approach this problem?
So I divided 230 the miles by the number of gallons, 10.5.
Right, so we want to find the mileage. So we take n, which is the distance, right? It travels. And then we divide it by the gallons it's used. And what do you get?
21.9.
Right. So that will be the mileage for Henry. Okay. Any questions on this? So pretty straightforward, right? You just have to be very careful on how you use the formula and what's been given to you and what are you looking for. Okay. Any questions? All right, I have one more question for you before you go. So let's take another couple of seconds to do this. So let's see. So at a certain car rental agency, a compact car rents for um, $40 a day and 15 cents a mile. Okay, so that's the scenario. And here's part A. How much does it cost to rent a car for 7 days driven 360 miles? Okay, so let's quickly answer that question. And I have part B for you. Find a formula that models the cost. C. Okay, so we'll come up with a formula and then, so let me just put a little bit more. Okay. All right, so we're ready for part A. So let's have Nicole tell us part A.
So I got $334 for 7
Well,
days.
how did you get to the answer?
So I did 40 times 7, and then I did plus 0.15 times 360. And I got 334.
Right. So we know it's going to cost us $40 a day and 15 cents a mile, right? And we're renting for 7 days, so that's 40 times 7. And then we're going to travel 360 miles, so that's 0.15 times number of miles. That will give you the total cost. Any questions on that? Does it make sense, guys? Cool. All right, great. So now let's have someone else help us to come up with the general formula. So now that we know how to use this application, we can actually generalize it for any number of days and any number of miles, right? So who can help us with coming up with a formula for C? So Brittany?
For C, I got that C is equal to 7n because it's 7 days. It's 40n. C is equal to 40n because it's $40 a day, and n represents the days.
Good.
Sorry, I got confused in that part. And then for the miles, I got 0.15 m is equal to C.
So what's the formula?
C is equal to 0.15 times m, which is the miles.
Okay. We're almost there. So we have $40 every day, which is N, and then 15 cents for every mile, which is M. Now, what is the formula? Plus, right? So we have to add them up, right? That will be the closed formula for this. So thank you guys for participating. Really, you guys are doing great. So hopefully you guys keep it up. So if you look at this problem very closely, if you want to say borrow from the same agency and say borrow for 3 days and you want to travel 1,000 miles, all you have to do is plug in 3 for N and 1,000 for M. It gives you the total cost, right? So closed formula will always help us to come up with an answer very quickly. So we introduce variables and tag in the price they require. All right, so this is it for us today. I will end the session here. I'll put up the video on my YouTube channel. That way you guys can access it later. If there's something you missed, you can go back and revisit. Any questions before we finish for today? All right, thanks, Jeffrey. All right, you guys are all good to go. It's great to have you guys here. Hopefully we'll have a lot of fun and hopefully you'll learn a lot. Hopefully I will learn a lot from you as well. So you're welcome, everyone. I'll see you all Monday. Have a wonderful weekend.